Facebook ads for allied health clinics in order to get more clients and to get more team members. In today's video, we're going to be going through how to use Facebook ads to actually successfully navigate this challenge. And there'll be no fluff or minimal fluff. Sometimes you get stuck in a tangent, just like now, but as little fluff as possible, straight to the point, short and shiny, my friends. But before I get stuck into it, please like and subscribe. It helps us to reach more people, to help more people, and to make an impact. All right, now that you've done that, I hope, let's jump straight into it. I'm going to share screen. We're going to talk through this as we go. We're going to go through how do we do it to get clients? How do we use Facebook ads to get team members? And by the way, when I say Facebook, I mean Meta. And Meta owns Facebook and Instagram. So often people will say, oh, I don't want to use Facebook. I just want to use Instagram. You get the choice. We won't be doing nitty gritty, like do this, then this, then this. We're going to be going through the strategy behind each of these. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Share the old screen and let's do it. So you should be able to see my iPad now. Let's do this. Let's start by putting up the top here on the top left, clients, and over on the right-hand side, team. These are going to be the two things that you use Facebook ads for. Now, something absolutely key to remember here is that branding is not where you want to be doing Facebook ads. Paid marketing, branding at the stage in business that most of us in healthcare are at, it's just not worthwhile. Now, granted, if you're Coca-Cola, if you're Mars, if you're Apple, branding is going to help at that stage and that scale of business. But at the scale that we're working at, you are literally most of the time just wasting money. I'd say 99% of the time, just wasting money trying to get impressions and brand. So if you're working with a social media company or any company that is running marketing for you and they're telling you how many impressions you got as a way to judge success, probably a sign that they're not getting the actual success you want, which is more clients or more team members. And as a result, they're trying to show you something else. So there's a little hint for free that you may want to have a serious chat if that's the case. Now, let's jump in and have a look at these here. So we split this in half and we go clients and team. Now, typically, what we're finding is that when people are trying to get clients, it has been more on the MSK side of things. However, what I have seen over the past 3 months is a bit of a shift towards NDIS clients using Facebook ads to get more of a specific type of client or to get actually more clients to fill the books because they're finding that the funding for the clients that they're working with has decreased, which is quite interesting. It's a change from what it was 6-12 months ago. Now, obviously, that does depend on the area you're in, the demographic, the amount of competition, but it's something that we're starting to see a bit more now. On the team side, I mean, heck, if you're an OT, speechy, what else? Psychology, they're probably the 3 most in-demand professions that we see at the moment. Physio is still up there, but not quite as much, depending where you are. Then team is likely what you're going to be using Facebook ads for as well. So what are we doing here? Now, to start with, for clients, I would be doing a lead gen ad. And for team, I would be doing lead gen as well. Now, when I say lead gen, it's lead generation. Gen, short for gen, it's just fancy marketing terms. I like to think of myself as kind of cool in the marketing scene, so I have to say it like this. But basically what it means is that someone's going to swap their details for something. They're going to leave their details. They're going to fill out a form. Facebook can autofill most of their details. We can ask the bare minimum questions because we want to put as little barriers in place as possible. And then we can contact that person. However, this is where it starts to differentiate because whilst these are both lead gen ads, they're going to have vastly different ways that we work with them. Now, the client's lead gen is typically leave your details and we'll contact you to book an appointment in. Okay, so it's a lead gen ad that's saying leave your details. For the team side of things, we're normally giving them a lead magnet. And a lead magnet is basically just a piece of value that they have to swap their details for to get this lead magnet. And then from there, they're going to go onto an email list. And when they're on the email list, we can then nurture them over time. And you've probably heard me talk about this many times before. We nurture them over time, and then eventually we want them to apply. Okay. And so that is the structure that we're using these for team for. What you'll find is that if you run Facebook ads to get people to apply for a job right then and there, it's challenging. It's very challenging. And if you've ever seen me draw this before, it goes like this. This is the trust graph. Over here, we have a 1, we have a 10 down here, and these people who are 10 are ready to take action now. It is the vast minority of people. And so when you're running a Facebook ad, asking people to apply for a job, you're asking this tiny portion of people here to make a big decision and to take action on that. And then over here, we have this huge portion of the market that we're not addressing, and we're not actually taking advantage of how large this is. And so what we want to do is, through nurturing, take people from 1 to 2, from 2 to a 3 on the trust scale by adding value over a period of time. And it can be 3, 6, 9, 12 months. But over time, you're going to move people down this continuum to a 10. And then in 12 months' time, you no longer have a hiring problem because you've got a whole bunch of people who know, like, and trust you and who want to come and work with you. So if you want to solve your hiring problem, this is one key way to do it. Lead gen to lead magnet, get them on an email list, nurture them over time, and get them to apply. Now, is this easy? Yes, I would say it's relatively easy, but does it require a lot of consistent showing up? Yes. How long would this take? No more than, I'd say, 1 hour per week in order to absolutely crush this problem and to solve it. 52 hours in 12 months' time, you could have solved that recruitment problem. 52 hours that would take. Now, if we jump across to the client side of things, so we go lead gen to details. So what we want to do in this lead gen ad is we want to explain to someone what the problem is that they're facing. We want to be able to articulate their problem better than they can. If we can articulate their problem better than they can, then guess what? They're going to attribute us with knowing the solution and being able to help them. Now, one problem we make here, and I'll get stuck into this in a minute, is trying to just come out with solutions, because often people don't understand that the solution that we offer is the right solution for them. Okay, so lead gen to details to we contact them, and that can be via, that's a terrible A, that can be via phone, email, whatever it may be. We contact, and then we qualify. Are they the right person? And then we book. Okay. So there's a few steps involved here. And the reason that there's a few steps involved here is because it tends to work better, right? Rather than, again, just putting out that direct call to action. And because, like we said over here, people may not be ready to just book in yet, having that intermediate step where you can talk to them on the phone, 2, 3, 4 minute conversation. They're like, all right, this person understands me. They've listened to me. I think they can solve my problem. That is more likely to get more people in your diary at a lower cost than just a direct call to action. You do obviously have to keep in mind that if you're contacting people, there is an associated wage cost of paying someone to do that. The contacting and the qualifying, if that takes, call it 5 minutes per person, and you have a therapist do that, look at your therapist's hourly rate, include that in your cost of acquisition of a client. Now, it's very important when we're doing this that we're looking at what is the lifetime value. So we want to know what is our CAC, our cost of acquisition of a client, to lifetime value. And we want to understand what that ratio is. So let's say that it costs us $50 to acquire a client, and our lifetime value is $1,000. Our lifetime value is 20 times as high as our cost of acquisition. Now, I do know that you'll be watching this going, yeah, but what do I pay my team out of this? So I would take that out as well. So with a lifetime value, we want cost of acquisition compared to what do we actually take home from this. So let's say you pay, for argument's sake, 40%, which means there's $600 left over. So then it's 50, that stays the same, that's the constant. And then over here we have $600. So now we can see that our ROI is 12 times what we pay for that client. And we want to make sure that that's as positive as possible. And we want this equation to make sense. Now, there are some times where this equation, you might be happy for it to be break even or even negative. And that's when you're trying to go through a period of aggressive growth. This is what Airbnb did. This is what Uber has done. A lot of those businesses will spend more money to acquire a customer than they actually make profit from that customer. And that is so that they can grow at scale. And then the idea for them is they can pull back that marketing budget because Uber becomes a verb. Oh, we'll just Uber there. So now people are so used to using it, they don't have to spend much, and the lifetime value is going to increase exponentially because people will just continue to use that service. So that's a bit of the thought process behind this. So I hope you can see now we've got team, we've got clients, we use lead gen ads to do both these. And then as we go down, it's a slightly different path. One of them we're putting into a long-term nurture, and the other we're putting into a short-term direct call to action, get them on a call, qualify them, book them in. Now, the other thing that people will typically ask is, well, what does the ad look like? How do we get them onto that call? Now, if we're looking at clients, let's look at it like this. Typically, what I would do is I would have a call out. Okay, so a very specific person I'm calling out. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask an emotional question. Oh wow, I spelled emotional wrong. Emotional question. And then I'm going to say something like this. How to yay without who, even if blah. Okay. Now the idea here is how to achieve what they want to achieve without common objection, even if common objection number 2. So I hope you can see what we're doing there. So it might be something like, like I'm a physio, so I'll use a physio example here, how to get rid of back pain without stopping your gym routine, even if you've had this back pain for 6 months or more. Because then now we're talking to a very specific person and we're actively talking through some of their objections. So they're thinking, well, all right, well, I've had it for 6 months, or I don't want to stop going to the gym. Now they can look at this and go, well, all right, I'm interested to hear what this person has to say. Okay, and you can do the same for pediatrics. I've seen this a lot in speech lately. People are finding very specific clients that they want to work with. It's how to achieve whatever they want without the perceived objection, even if second perceived objection. Then from there, we offer solution. And the solution can be as simple as leave your details and we'll have a physio. Leave your details and we'll have a speech pathologist contact you to see if you're the right person for our program or our clinic or whatever it may be. And then clearly, I would say, articulate the next step. Oh, geez. Next step. So what we want to do is we want to make it absolutely clear, what do we want people to do? What is that next step we want them to do? And I package this up so that this here becomes the image. So it's a text-based image. And then it also is the ad copy, which is the text. So it's an abbreviated version in the image. So it's a text-based image. And then the ad copy expands on it for the people that want a bit more information. And then I get them to fill out a quick form using Facebook's lead form advertising. Now, on Facebook's lead form advertising, one key thing that you need to remember is that you cannot ask any health-related questions or Facebook will ban your ad account. Now, for healthcare companies, this can be challenging, especially if we want to qualify people. So the only questions that I ask are, what is the most convenient time to contact you? And I typically say before midday or after midday. I don't want to give them too many options. I just want to know, is it morning or afternoon? And I will pick a time within there to contact you. Then I will also ask, what is your full name? And I split it up. So we'll go first name, last name, because if it's going to if one day you decide to put these in an email database, you want those two separated. So first name, last name, email, and mobile. That all the questions I have, all the questions that I have. Now, you may also, when it comes to the end of this, you'll have a little thing that pops up saying congratulations, we'll give you a call, whatever it may be. You can, if you know the phone number that's going to call them. So if you have a clinic phone, now this is a little hack that makes them work so much better. If you have a clinic phone, and so you know the number that's going to be calling them, tell them to save this number in their phone now so they know it's you. Because if you do that, you're actually going to find that more people answer the phone because they can see who's calling. Because I don't know about you, but when my phone rings, I don't know who it is that's calling. It's a number I don't know. I just leave it. Very, very rarely do I answer that. I just assume that it's someone trying to scam me. That's my assumption, right? So sorry if you ever do call me and I don't answer. I just assume you're trying to scam. So if you can get them to save the clinic number, if that's the number that they're going to be calling from, your team member, that will increase your the rates that people answer and also the conversion rate then. So that's for clients. Now, when we look at it for team members, I do the exact same thing. So the call out. So the call out, instead of being specifically to people with specific medical condition or challenge, the call out changes to people of a specific profession. So you might say at the top, new grad speech therapist or new grad occupational therapists. Then the emotional question. Let's say we're aiming at people who are in their first year now. It could be 6 months in, and the question I might ask is, are you not getting the supervision that you were promised? Or are you disappointed that you haven't received the supervision that you wanted or were promised? Okay, emotional question. Because what we're not trying to do is we're not trying to get people who are super happy where they are. It's going to be a very hard bargain, right? So we're looking for people who were promised the world but it wasn't delivered. Those people will probably be really grateful to work at an amazing clinic that does what it says it's going to do and delivers on its promises. Now, the how to yay without boo, even if blah, I would use this as well. So how to find the perfect clinic without common objection, without being promised the world and not having delivered, whatever it may be, even if you've had a bad experience so far. Okay, that's just off the top of my head. We can do way better than that. Don't worry about that. The solution could be, hey, join our email list or download this free guide that helps you to, actually, this is better. So we're doing this on the fly, so you can see my brain working here. The solution could be download this guide for the 5 questions that you need to ask in an interview in order to make sure that your potential employer or your potential workplace is going to go through or words. I can't remember the words in English. I can't remember them in any other language. The solution would be download our free guide for the 5 questions you need to ask in an interview in order to make sure that the clinic you're applying for will deliver on their promises. Something like that. Right? If you're someone who has been at a clinic and they haven't delivered on their promises and you've gone through this, you're probably very likely to download that. Okay, so clearly articulate the next step. Simply fill out the short form is what I'd say. Fill out the short form and I'll send it directly to your inbox within 60 seconds, something like that. So then they fill out the form. The form would literally, again, just be first name, last name, email, and phone number. And then I would send that through to their email address. Facebook does have the option where you can upload it to the actual lead gen ad so they can get it straight away. I would advise you against using that because it's important from an email marketing sense, if we want to continually email this person, that they open the first email that you send them. You're much less likely to go into spam after that. So don't give it to them through Facebook's lead gen ad, even though that would be a really nice way to do it for them. Selfishly, we want them to open that first email. So that is how we'll send it through to them. And then from there, they're now on the email list. Let's nurture them over time. You're already positioning yourself as an expert, as a specialist, as the clinic to work at, because you're solving the problem that they're facing. And so if you can show them over time, continuously, that you do what you say you're going to do, that this is how you mentor your team, that this is your team culture, that this is how you support your therapists and your team members, it won't be long before that person is thinking, damn, I wouldn't mind working with this team. This person really seems like they care. And that gives you a massive advantage when you're thinking from a recruitment perspective. Because imagine this, a lot of the time when people move or when people go into an interview, it is the first time they've met that person for both of them, both parties. But if I'm a candidate going into a job interview and I feel like I know the person because I've been on their email list for 6 months now, I feel like I know what they're about. I feel like I know them because it feels like they've just been talking to me through like kind of a personal journal, and I can understand their clinical reasoning because that's maybe some of the value they've added over time. Maybe there was some YouTube videos. So I feel like they've talked to me as well, and I can see what they're about and I understand that. It's a very different interview to going in there and not knowing the person. You're already half sold. So just a quick recap on this one. We want to make sure that we're running lead gen ads for both. We want to make sure that our cost of acquisition, especially for clients, makes sense. And remember that it doesn't have to be positive if you're going for a substantial, very quick growth, but you also have to understand where is the money going to come from to fund this, because eventually the money would run out doing that. So making sure that you can do that, and you can do that for a period of time, or there is a positive CAC to LTV, and we're looking at a profit from lifetime value, not just the overall gross revenue. With clients, we contact them ourselves, we qualify them, and we book them in. This works for MSK, it works for NDIS PEDS clinics. I've seen it work across all different clinics. And then when we're looking at our team, the call to action or the step we want people to take is to get on the email list via a lead magnet that solves a problem. We then want to nurture them and have them apply to work with us. When we're nurturing people, we're not trying to take people from a 1 to a 10 straight away. We want to take them from a 1 to a 2 and a 2 to a 3. If you're trying to take someone from a 1 to a 10, that's like getting there on a first date. This is first date ever. You're 5 minutes in, you grab coffee and you look at them and you wink and you'd be like, so you want to get out of here? No, it's downright creepy doing that. So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we're building trust over time, authentically, and showing up consistently. Then this is what it would look like. Your call out, emotional question, how to yay without boo, even if blah, your solution, clearly articulating the next step, and then helping them to take that step. And that, my friends, is how you can use Facebook ads to grow your clinic, to help more people, to reach more of the right people, to get more of your ideal clients in, and to get more ideal team members, and to solve your recruitment problem. And for so many healthcare professionals right now, solving that recruitment problem is the #1 priority. So look, if you do want help with this, if you've gone through all of this and you've gone, honestly, it still doesn't make sense, then feel free to reach out to me. Be more than happy to have a conversation with you about this and how we can help with this. My email is peter@clinicmastery.com. Below this video, we've also got the Assess Your Clinic link. It's great. It's fantastic. If you want to understand where your clinic's sitting and where your opportunities are, honestly, it'll take 5 to 7 minutes. It'll answer a few questions, and at the end of it, you'll get a report that's going to help you to understand, hey, where are we killing it? Where are we crushing it? And what are the opportunities for us to really improve our experiences, our impact, our clinic financials, marketing, all the different things. Now, if you did like this video, please like and subscribe. Like I said earlier, it helps us to reach more people and to have a greater impact. I will see you in the next video, my friends.